If you want to become a legitimate 501c3 nonprofit organization, you will have to apply for your tax exempt status. Today's video is going to review applying for your federal tax exempt status. And we are going to do this by starting at the IRS website. This is Zena with the Nonprofit Support Agency. Thank you for joining us. We are going to start this video training at the IRS website. So we have typed 1023 into the search bar and it brings us to this page. We're on the IRS website, irs.gov, and then you type 1023 into the search bar and it will bring you to this page. About Form 1023, Application for Recognition of Exemption under Section 501c3 of the Internal Revenue Code. Information about Form 1023, Application for Recognition of Exemption under Section 501c3 of the Internal Revenue Code, including recent updates, related forms, and instructions on how to file. So we'll click this section, which brings us to the next page. Organizations must electronically file this form to apply for recognition of exemption from federal income tax under Section 501c3. Note, you may be eligible to file Form 1023 Easy, which is a streamlined version of the application for recognition of tax exemption. You must complete Form 1023 Easy's eligibility worksheet and the instructions for 1023 Easy to determine if you are eligible to file this form. If you are not eligible to file 1023 Easy, you can still file Form 1023. So let's click the section that says Instructions for the 1023 Easy. This takes us to the instruction sheet, and you will see at the top of page 3, Form 1023 Easy Eligibility Worksheet. So you will click on that form and it says, Form 1023 Easy Eligibility Worksheet must be completed prior to completing Form 1023 Easy. If you answer yes to any of the worksheet questions, you are not eligible to apply for tax exemption under 501c3 using Form 1023 Easy. You must apply on Form 1023. If you answer no to all the worksheet questions, you may apply using Form 1023. So this worksheet, it basically asks if you expect to have revenue over $50,000 in the next 3 years. It also asks if you're a foreign corporation or if you do business with foreign entities, and a few other questions about your status. So read through each of these questions, answer them correctly. It's okay to file the 1023 if you have to. But most new organizations, they may not expect to make $50,000 in the first 3 years, or they really don't know. So it is suggested that if you're new, if you're small, and you're just starting out, to answer this form correctly, and then to file the 1023 Easy. If you're a more established organization that is forming this nonprofit and you do have assets or expect to have gross receipts over $50,000, then go ahead, select yes to the appropriate questions, and then go ahead and complete the Form 1023 for your tax exempt status. So please review this worksheet in detail, answer the questions appropriately. We are going to go back to the IRS website. And next, it says that in order to file for the 1023, you must register for an account on pay.gov. Enter 1023 in the search box and select Form 1023. So let's go over to that page. We're at pay.gov. We've already put 1023 in the search box, and it directed us to this page. It says Application for Recognition of Exemption under Section 501c3. Again, once you get to the pay.gov page, you will have to register. You'll have to sign up for an account They'll send you a code, make sure that it's you, and then come back to this page, put in 1023, and then continue with the application process. So, description. Organizations file this form to apply for recognition of exemption from federal income tax under Section 501c3. Notice, you may experience issues with saving a form and accessing it later. If this occurs, you'll need to complete the form again. They apologize for the inconvenience. Okay, so we are going to continue. Select continue under 501c3. About this form, organizations file this form to apply for recognition of exemption from federal income tax under Section 501c3. See instructions for Form 1023 for help in completing this application. So you can click here, or you can go back to the IRS website and download or look at the instruction forms, because you may need some of that information. So again, it states you may be eligible to file the 1023 Easy, a streamlined version of the application for recognition of tax exemption under Section 501c3. You must complete the eligibility worksheet, which we just reviewed, to determine if you're eligible to file that form. If you are not eligible, you must file the 1023. In order to use this application, you must have an EIN number, not a social security number, and you must have already filed for your articles of incorporation. So let's move forward and start the application. We're going to click continue to the form. Okay. Part 1, identification of applicant. So our sample nonprofit organization is new nonprofit. So we're going to enter that information here. And Jane Doe is the incorporator. She's the person filing this application. Jane Doe, not Joan. And she's using the same address and information from our other applications. Organization is located in Los Angeles, California, and we're in the United States. And her zip. And her employer identification number. We entered too many zeros. And her fiscal year ends in May, and she is the contact person. Her telephone number. Her fax number. And the fee to complete the 501c3 application is going to be $600. We're going to enter Jane's website address. Next, 9, list the names, titles, and mailing address of your officers, directors, or trustees. Select the number of officers, directors, and trustees. So Jane has 5. We are going to start off with Jane. She's the CEO. Los Angeles. The second person on her board is, first name only, last name is in the next field. And he is the CFO. The street address, city, zip. And the third person is She is the secretary. Patient. And then the fourth person I'm trying to think of a name. What is his name? Robert. And his title. It's a board member. The address. City. And then the final person is also a board member. Okay, that page is completed. And now we'll go to the next page. Question 2, organizational structure. To file this form, you must be a corporation, a limited liability company, an unincorporated association, or a trust. Select the box for the type of organization. This is a nonprofit corporation. We've already filed our articles of incorporation, so we'll select the first one. And at the end of the form, you see it says we need to upload a copy of the articles of incorporation and any amendments that shows proof of filing with the appropriate state agency. So Jane's incorporation date, this is the date that will be on her articles. I don't remember what date we used, so we're going to say, we're going to say that it was in January. But the date should match the date that is on your article of incorporation. Question 4, have you adopted bylaws? If yes, at the end of this form, upload a current copy showing the date of adoption. If no, explain how you select your officers, directors, or trustees. So Jane has her articles, and we do have a video on YouTube that explains how to create the bylaws for your organization. You can view that. We will also put it in the description below. And if you have not already, please like and subscribe to our channel, the Nonprofit Support Agency, sorry. Question 5, are you a successor to another organization? Answer yes if you have taken or will take over the activities of another organization. If you've taken over 25% or more of the fair market value of the net assets of another organization, or if you were established upon the conversion of an organization from for-profit to nonprofit status. If yes, you will have to complete Schedule G. So for Jane's organization, this is a brand new organization. We are not a successor. So we will select no and then next. Question 3, required provisions for your organizing document. And you can see the instructions for more information. Part 3 helps ensure that when you submit this application, your organizing document contains the required provisions to meet the organizational tests under Section 501c3. If you cannot click yes in both lines 1 and 2, your organizing documents does not meet the organizational test. Do not file this application until you have amended your organizing document. Remember to upload your original and amended organizing documents at the end of this form. Question 1. Section 501c3 requires that your organizing document limit your purpose to one or more exempt purposes within Section 501c3, such as charitable, religious, educational, and/or scientific purposes. The following is an example of an acceptable clause. The organization is organized exclusively for charitable, religious, educational, and scientific purposes under Section 501c3 of the Internal Revenue Code or corresponding sections of any future federal tax code. Now, for California articles, when you select a public benefit nonprofit organization, the statement is included. You do not have to come up with a statement. Therefore, a statement that is on the articles for a 501c for a nonprofit public benefit entity fits this purpose. So you will not have to worry about your the purpose of your organization. There was a time a number of years ago when you were able to state or create your own purpose. But right now, the California articles, if you're in another state, I am not sure what is stated on your articles, but for the state of California, your purpose statement does fit the requirements for having a 501c3 organization. So, does your organizing document meet this requirement? Yes, Jane's does. And then question 1A, state specifically where your organizing document meets this requirement, such as reference to a particular article or section in your organizing document, page, article, and paragraph. So Jane is going to go back to her articles and select the paragraph and page that it states her purpose. So 1 second, we are going to be right back. And the purpose statement on Jane's article is located on page 1. And there's question number 4. Number 2. Section 501c3 requires that your organizing document provide that upon dissolution, your remaining assets be used exclusively for Section 501c3 exempt purposes such as charitable, religious, educational, and/or scientific purposes. Depending on your entity type and the state in which you are formed, this requirement may be satisfied by the operation of state law. The following is an example of an acceptable dissolution clause. Upon the dissolution of this organization, assets shall be distributed for one or more exempt purpose within the meaning of Section 501c3 of the Internal Revenue Code or corresponding section of any future federal tax code, or shall be distributed to the federal government or to a state or local government for public purpose. Does your organizing document meet this requirement? And for Jane, we are going to say yes. Question 2A. State specifically where your organizing document meets this requirement, such as reference to a particular article or section in your organizing document, page, article, paragraph, or indicate that you rely on state law. For Jane, this information is also on page 1 of her articles. Question 5. And let's add of the articles of incorporation. You want to be as specific as possible. That's too long. We'll just say the articles. Here, the articles. Okay. And let's go to the next page. 4, your activity. See instructions for more information. 1, describe completely and in detail your past, present, and planned activities. Do not refer or repeat the purpose in your organizing document. For each past, present, or planned activity, include information that answers the following questions. What is the activity? Who conducts the activity? Where the activity is conducted? What percentage of your total time is allocated to the activity? How the activity is funded, for example, donations, fees, etc., and what percentage of your overall expense is allocated to this activity, and how does the activity further your tax exempt purpose, your exempt purpose. So we're going to just answer this quickly. You should answer this in detail. But Jane's organization is a workforce agency that helps people find jobs. So this is just a quick answer to the question again. Please be as detailed as you can. We've selected the new nonprofit, which is the name of Jane's agency. The new nonprofit agency provides workforce services to homeless and low-income individuals by providing job training, job shadowing, resume assistance, and job search assistance. These services are provided by volunteers and will be provided by our staff members. The activities are conducted at our office, which is located in Los Angeles County. 100% of the agency's time will be dedicated to these services. Our program will be funded by grants, donations from the public, and local businesses. We will not charge a fee to program participants. All services will be provided for free. Through this program, we provide charitable work to help homeless and low-income community members for free. So this is just a quick answer to the question. Again, I suggest that you provide more details. You do have plenty of characters. I believe it's probably 5,000 in total. Probably 100%. 100%. Okay. So there's probably 5,000 characters in total. So you have plenty of space to answer that question appropriately. So let's go to the next page. Your activities continued. Enter the appropriate 3-character NTEE code that best describes your activities. See instructions for more information. So here you will have to go back to the IRS website to see the instructions with a list where they provide a list of codes, or you can check this box and the IRS will select the code for you. But for Jane's organization, let's see if we can do this really quick. Let's go to the instructions. And the NTEE code, you can see we have line 2, National Taxonomy of Exempt Entities, NTEE code. And we will visit this for NTEE code. We're going to click NTEE code. Scroll down. Major group. Find full list of NTEE code here. Select that one. Then it has a full list. Let's do a search. See if it has anything for job training or workplace employment preparation and procurement. We're going to go ahead and select J2. Be sure that you search this page and find the appropriate code for your organization. We're going to go ahead and select J20.
Okay. And again, if you want, you can have the check this box and the IRS will select your code for you. 3, do any of your programs limit the provision of goods, services, or funds to a specific individual or group of specific individuals? For example, answer yes if goods, services, or funds are provided only for a particular individual, your members, individuals who work for a particular employer, graduates of a particular school. If yes, explain the limitation and how recipients are selected for each program. We are going to select no. Jane's services are open to the public, anyone who have a need, anyone who is considered low income or homeless. Question 4, do any individuals who receive goods, services, or funds through your program have a family or business relationship or any officer, director, or with any of your highest compensated employees, highest compensated independent contractors? If yes, explain. These related individuals are eligible, how these related individuals are eligible for goods, services, or funds. Jane does not. We do not. Question 5, do you or will you support or oppose candidates in political campaigns in any way? Jane is not. Question 6, do you or will you attempt to influence the legislator? We are selecting no. Jane is not. Question 7, do you or will you publish, own, or have rights in music, literature, tapes, artwork, choreography, etc.? We're selecting no. Jane is not. Question 8, do you or will you provide educational information to the general public on budgeting, personal finance, financial literacy, savings, spending practices, the sound use of consumer credit, and/or assist individuals and families with financial problems such as credit card debt and foreclosure by providing them with counseling? If yes, please explain. We are not. Jane is not. It's kind of close related, but we are not. It could be a benefit to our clients, but Jane's organization is not providing that service. Question 9, do you or will you make grants, loans, or distributions to other organizations? We are going to select no because Jane is not. We apply for grants, but we do not distribute grants to others. Question 10, do you or will you operate in a foreign country or countries? No, Jane is not. Question 11, are you a sponsoring organization that maintains one or more donor advised funds? We are going to select no. Question 12, do you or will you operate a school? We are selecting no. Question 13, is your principal purpose or function to provide hospital or medical care? We are selecting no. Question 14, do you or will you provide low income housing? We are not, or Jane is not. Question 15, do you or will you provide scholarships, fellows, educational loans, or other educational grants to individuals, including grants for study, travel, study, or similar purposes? Our answer is no. Question 16, check any of the following fundraising activities that you will undertake. Website, phone, mail, email, we will do all of those. Foundation grant solicitations, yes. Donations from another organization's website. Government grant solicitations, eventually we will. Bingo, other non-bingo gaming activities, other, we will not, we are engaging. So those are we've selected 3 from question number 16. Question 17, do you or will you engage in fundraising activities for other organizations? We will not. We're just trying to get grants for our own organization or for Jane's organization. So let's go to the next page. Part 5, question 6, compensation and other financial arrangements. Question 1, do you or will you compensate officers, directors, or trustees? Or do you or will you have highest compensated employees or highest compensated independent contractors? We are selecting no, we will not. Our board members do not get paid, and our salaries for all of our employees will fall within a range that is acceptable for nonprofits in Los Angeles County. Question 2, have you adopted a conflict of interest policy? consistent with the sample conflict of interest policy in Appendix A to the instructions. If you are a hospital, answer yes. If your conflict of interest policy includes provisions consistent with the additional healthcare related provisions, we are not a hospital, but we have adopted Jane has adopted a conflict of interest policy that is consistent with the sample. So we are going to select yes. 3, do you or will you compensate any of your officers, directors, trustees, highest compensated employees, and highest compensated independent contractors through non-fixed payments such as discretionary bonuses or revenue-based payments? If yes, describe. We are not. We're just going to have a regular payment. And let me go back to question 1, because Jane is a member of her board. She's an officer and she is also an employee. So her salary is a salary as a staff member, not as a board member. So she's not being paid to be on the board. She's being paid to be an employee of the organization. So that's why she does not fall under this category. But you will, not to confuse you, but most 990 tax returns will list the CEO's salary in this area. But we are going to leave our answer at no. Okay, question 4. Do you or will you purchase or sell any goods, services, or assets from or to any of your officers, directors, or trustees, any family of any of your officers, directors, or trustees, any organizations in which any of your officers, directors, or trustees are also officers, directors, or trustees in which any individual officer, director, or trustee owns more than 35%? We are not. So Jane is not. So we're selecting no. You can click the question mark if you have questions or if you are wondering about that question. Question 5, do you or will you have any leases, contract loans, other agreements with your officers, directors, or trustees, any family member of any of your officers, directors, or trustees, any organizations in which your officers, directors, or trustees are also officers, directors, or trustees, or in which any individual officer, director, or trustee owns more than 35%, etc. We are selecting no. Jane is selecting no. Do you or will you contract with another organization to develop, build, market, or finance your facilities? If yes, describe each facility, the role of the other organization, and any business or family relationships between the organizations and our officers. Jane is not. We are going to select no. Does or will someone other than your own employees or volunteers manage your activities or facilities? No, we do not have it. Jane does not have another organization managing her facility. Question 8, do you participate in any joint ventures, including partnerships, limited liability companies treated as partnerships, in which you share profits and losses with partners, etc.? We are going to select no because Jane does not. And we are going to select next to go to the next page, part 5, question 7, financial data. Question 1, select the option that best describes you to determine the years of revenue and expenses you needed to provide. You have completed less than 1 tax year. You have completed at least 1 tax year, but fewer than 5. You have completed 5 or more tax year. We're a brand new corporation, so we're brand new nonprofit. So we're going to select the first one, which is less than 1 tax year. And then it says provide a total of 3 years of financial information, including the current year and 2 future years of reasonable and good faith projections of your future finances in the following statement of revenue and expenses. So in the statement, question A, statement of revenue and expenses, if you're brand new, we're just going to estimate your next 3 years of revenue and expenses. So let's start with the dates. We're starting with this year, 01/01/2023. Now, we did mark that we are completing a fiscal year, which ends in May. So we are doing 0506, sorry, 06, 01, 2023, 205, 31, 2024. And the following year will be 06, 01, 2024, 205, 31, 2025. And the current year is the year prior or succeeding. Okay. The last one is 06, 01, 2025, 205, 31, 2026. Okay, so this year, June just passed, we're saying that our organization started this year. All of your information has to match. So our articles were earlier this year. But Jane's business has yet to begin because they're filing their paperwork to begin services. So her fiscal year began last month and it will run until May of next year. And then the year preceding will be June to May. And then the next year will be the next June to May. Okay, next question 1, gifts, grants, and contributions. So we're just going to estimate the amount that Jane is expecting over the next 3 years. So this year is halfway gone. Well, no, actually it's just getting started. But for Jane, we're going to do a conservative estimate. She has not raised funds to date. She is literally starting everything from scratch. So once their status is confirmed, they are going to begin raising funds. So they're expecting to be able to raise a lot of funds during the Christmas season. So we're going to estimate, you know, some people might do a conservative estimate of $2,000 or $3,000 per month for the next couple of years. But for Jane, we're just going to estimate it her first year at $20,000. We're going to be very conservative. The following year, let's say 35. And let's say that the final year will be 45. Not the final year, but the third year will be 45,000. Hopefully it'll be more than that, but we are just going to give a conservative estimate because you never know on this document. So Jane does not have any membership, so she's going to put 0. She also does not have any investment income, 0. No unrelated business income. She's planning to use fund her organization primarily with grants and contracts and donations from the public. So taxes, we're going to put 0. She's not expecting any of these as income sources besides grants. Value of services or facilities furnished by governmental unit without charge, not included the value of services generally furnished to the public without charge. She does not anticipate, it would be nice to have something like that, but she does not anticipate having that. 7, any revenue otherwise not listed above. She's not planning on any other revenue for her nonprofit. So here we have the totals for year 1, 2, and 3. Gross receipts from admission, merchandise sold, or furnishings of facilities. That is related to she's not planning on any of that. So again, be truthful when you're answering these questions. If you know that you have some of these things coming in, it's okay to state that here. Okay, net gain or loss on sale of capital asset. Jane does not have any. Unusual grants, Jane does not have any. Total revenue, 20, 35, and 45. Expenses, current tax year, fundraising expense. She's not paying a fundraiser, professional fundraising organization. So this is going to be 0. Contributions, gifts, grants, and similar amounts paid out. She's not granting anything to anyone or any organizations. Disbursement, for the benefit of members, provide an itemized list below. She does not have any, she's not planning any of those items for members, and she's not compensating her officers, directors, or trustees. Other salaries and wages. For the first year, she is assisted for, well, not just the first year. Jane already has a number of volunteers that are helping her, and they play a big role in helping to run her organization. So she relies heavily on her volunteers. So right now, no one in the organization is getting paid. So she is going to, let's say, estimate that 15 goes towards salaries. And over here, we're going to say 30 and 40. Okay, as she continues, she will grow and get more staff members. We don't anticipate, she does not anticipate any expenses besides rent. So we're going to put down 5,000 for rent. Again, be accurate. We know that there's no rent in LA County. That's 5,000 a year. So, but for the sake of this example, I'm just entering information. Again, please be as accurate as you can. But we did say that we were not anticipating to have more than $50,000 in revenue over the next 3 years. Many times as a new nonprofit, you do find spaces where you can share with another nonprofit, or sometimes the founder will operate the program from a park or use their home as an office. So it's not unrealistic to say that your rent is only $5,000 because of those reasons. So depreciation and depletion, we're going to put to 0 for Jane, and it does not hurt to have the help of a professional, like an accounting or bookkeeper that is familiar with nonprofit accounting and bookkeeping to assist you in coming up with your budget. Again, it's a great idea to have an accountant or a bookkeeper as one of your board members, but you will definitely need to have a good CPA to assist you with the bookkeeping and keeping your books organized for your nonprofit organization. Question 23, any other expenses not otherwise classified? Jane has none. So the total expenses, everything balances out. And we are going to go to the next page. Balance sheet for your most recently completed tax year. If you haven't completed a full tax year, use the most current information available. Be sure to enter the year-end date for the information and not the date you prepare this application. So our year-end date is our fiscal year end, which is 5/31/2024. So that's year, because our fiscal year just started. So our cash assets at the end of the year, let's say 0, receivable 0, inventory 0. This is for Jane's new nonprofit, which just started. Bonds and notes receivables 0, corporate stock, no stock, no loans, no investments. Again, if you have this information, be honest and select the correct or enter the correct information. You may be starting with some land that someone has gifted you for your nonprofit. So please be as accurate as you can. We have no, Jane has no accounts payable, no mortgages or other liabilities. Okay, so we are going to go to the next page. Question 9 of 12, Part 7, Foundation Classification. Part 7 is designed to classify you as an organization that is either a private foundation or a public charity. Public charity classification is a more favorable tax status than private foundation classification. If you are a private foundation, this part will further determine whether you are a private operating foundation. Question 1, select the foundation classification you are requesting from the list below. Okay, so we're applying for the 501c3. So if you do not see your status here, then I would suggest that you are a publicly supported, that you select this box. You are a publicly supported organization and would like the IRS to decide your correct classification. Okay, because on this page, I do not see 501c3, so we are going to let the IRS determine that information for us. Question 2, if you have been in existence more than 5 years, Jane has not, you must confirm your public support status. To confirm your qualification as a public charity described in 509A1 and 170B1A6, in existence for 5 more tax years, you must have received 1/3 or more of your total support from government agencies, contributions from the general public, and contributions or grants from other public charities are 10% or more of your total support from government agencies, contributions from the general public, and contributions or grants from other public charities. And the facts and circumstances indicate you are a publicly supported organization. Calculate whether you meet this support test for your most recent 5-year period. Did you receive contributions from any person or organization? Any person, company, or organizations whose gift totaled more than 2% of the amount of line 8, part V1A. We're going to select no for Jane because she had a well-balanced mix of grants and donations from various organizations and people. So we're going to select no. Question 2. Based on your calculations, did you receive at least 1/3 of your support from public sources, or did you normally receive at least 10% of your support from public sources, and you have other characteristics of a publicly supported organization? So Jane has received at least 1/3 of her support from public sources. So we're going to select yes. 2A, if you have been in existence for more than 5 years, again, Jane has not, you must confirm your public support status. To confirm your qualification as a public charity described on 509A, 2, in existence for 5 or more tax years, you must have normally received more than 1/3 of your support from contributions, membership fees, and gross receipts from activities related to your exempt functions, or a combination of these sources, and not more than 1/3 of your support from gross investments, income, and net unrelated business income. Calculate whether or not you meet the support test for your most recent 5 years. Did you receive amounts from any disqualified person? We're going to say no for Jane. Did you receive amounts from individuals or organizations other than disqualified persons that exceeded the greater of 5,000 or 1% of the amount on line 10 of Part 6A, Statement of Revenue and Expenses? For Jane, we are going to select no. For 2A, number 3, based on your calculations, did you normally receive more than 1/3 of your support from a combination of gifts, grants, contribution, membership fees, and gross receipts from permitted sources from activities related to your exempt functions, and normally receive not more than 1/3 of your support from investment income and unrelated business taxable income? For Jane, we are going to select yes, and we are going to go to the next page. Question 10, Part 8, effective date. In general, a determination letter recognizing exemption of an organization described in Section 501c3 is effective as of the date of formation of an organization if its purpose and activities prior to the date of the determination letter have been consistent with the requirements for exemption, and 2, it has filed an application for recognition of exemption within 27 months from the end of the month in which it was organized. Are you submitting this application within 27 months? Are you submitting this application within 27 months of the end of the month in which you were legally formed? If no, complete Schedule E. We are. So Jane is going to select yes. We are going to the next page. And it says, annual filing requirements. Question 1, certain organizations are not required to file annual information returns or notices, which is the Form 990, 990EZ, or the 990N e-postcard. If you are granted tax exemption, you are claiming to be excused from filing Form 990, 990EZ, or 990N. Yes or no? We are not requesting that exemption because we are required to file the 990 form. We're going to the next page. Next is the signature. I declare under penalty of perjury that I am authorized to sign this application on behalf of the above organization, and that I have examined this application and to the best of my knowledge it is true, correct, and complete. Jane will enter her name, enter her title, today's date, and then we are going to upload any organizing documents, which would be her articles of incorporation and a copy of her bylaws. If, as you recall, the first page, it said that we would have to upload the bylaws. And then this question, the next question, it does ask for the bylaws if adopted. Form 2848, which is a power of attorney and declaration of representative if applicable. If you want to authorize a representative to represent you regarding an application, then you will have to do this. Form 8821, tax information authorization if applicable. Supplemental responsive applicable. Expedited handling request if applicable. So the only two that are required are your organizing documents and the bylaws. So Jane is attaching that information. She has to click that part. So I believe that will file this application, as this is a test application. We are not going to submit this, but as you can see at the top of the form, the next screen, you will have to enter the payment information, and it's stated on the previous pages. The filing fee is $600, and then you will be able to review all of your questions and submit them, and then you will confirm submitting your 501c3 federal tax exempt application. You can also click View PDF to view and print out a copy. If you want to print it out and review it one more time before you submit it, you can do that. And it does allow you to save. I would be careful to make sure that you don't lose all the information you submitted. Hopefully you have it written down in another place. But this concludes our training on completing a 501c3 application for the year 2023, an online application, and this is the 1023 Easy. If you have questions, please leave them in the comments. Thank you for joining us. Please like and subscribe to our channel, and we will see you in the next video. Thank you.